Good morning. So welcome to your morning practice. This is going to be for 60 minutes this morning. You may be doing it later, so you might be not here live. So this is still going to be suitable. It's not going to be tons of back bend, so you could do it in the evening as well. So if you've got a block handy, have one with you, and let me know if you're here. Say hi, just so I can get to know who is with me today. So say hi in the comments and we'll start in about a minute. So just let me know who you are. Cool, okay. Hi Steve. Hi Ian. Okay, so we're going to start now anyway. So if you have a block at home with you, have that handy. Don't worry if you haven't got one, it's just useful for one of the postures we're going to do. And just have that near the top of your mat for later. Then come down onto your back. So we're going to start, because it's the morning, bodies tend to be more stiff in the morning, and we're going to just kind of ease into things slowly. We're not going to go full power straight away, but we will be moving fairly dynamically later. So come onto your back and have your head on the floor with your feet flat on the ground. And then all you're going to do here is rest before we move, with a few kind of warm-up movements for all the major joints of the body. So have your feet flat on the floor, knees pointing up, and feel that your spine is long on the mat, so you're not kind of crunching into the back of the neck or the lower back, and that your shoulders are not up near your ears. So spread the collarbone, spread the shoulder blades apart. Maybe close the eyes. Tuning into the sound of your breath. Feeling the soles of the feet on the floor, and the back of the pelvis, the natural curve of the lower back, the upper back, shoulders, shoulder blades, arms and hands, back of the head. And notice how your neck and head is positioned. Some people have a tendency to flatten the back of their spine towards the floor, and others can arch too much in the back of their neck. And you notice this by, especially if you're arching the back of your neck, your chin might be tipped up too much. So lengthen the back of your skull up towards the end of the mat. Then bring your arms above your head and take a hand around each elbow, and as much as you can, let the shoulders and elbows drop to the floor. So each of us has different range of movement, of motion and mobility in the shoulders. So first thing in the morning you might feel particularly tight, so let that be the case. Practicing in the morning is quite different to practicing in the evening. And just this simple posture of bringing the hands around the elbows can help to then open up across the front ribs and chest, and the shoulders, the fronts of the shoulders. Then from there, take your feet as wide as your mat and feel the edges of your feet the edges of the mat under the soles of the feet. Then let both knees drop to the left, keeping your feet as wide as your mat. Stretch your right arm up away from you so you've still got the arm above the head. And then bring the left hand to rest gently onto the inner thigh and just relax the shoulder and elbow of that arm down. And then here it might feel that your head wants to move a particular direction. Perhaps you can let it roll to the same side as the knees. And feel a stretch along the right side of the neck perhaps. Then come into the center. Bring your feet onto the edges of your mat again and take hands around elbows. See if you can take the opposite way round this time, so the other forearm on top. Then let both knees drop to the right this time. Keep the left arm up there, stretching it out, and bring the right hand to the inside of the right thigh. And perhaps letting your head drop to the right. Coming into the center again. Reposition your feet and your body so you're in the middle of your mat. And bring your heels up towards your hips. Spreading the toes, feeling the soles of the feet on the ground. Then bring both knees in towards your belly. Bring the legs together and rest the hands on top of the knees, pointing the fingertips towards your toes. Keeping your big toes together, we're going to circle the hips in two different directions, in opposite directions. So you're creating little circles with both hips, taking the knees out to the side, and then back into the center. So make sure you're creating those circles by pushing the knees away from you as you take the knees out, and then bring them back in. Keeping that going. Make it really slow. Really, really slowing it down. So we're warming up the hip joints and letting the body know that it's time to move. But doing it in a gentle, easeful way. We don't want to shock the body into exercise in the morning. There's time and place for that. Perhaps if you go to HIIT classes, then we're going to move the legs the opposite way. You go to circuits or something like that, or the gym. But this morning we are practicing mindfully, waking the body up slowly, kindly, tuning into the sensations in the body. Then bring your legs together and relax your arms down on the floor, turning your palms up. Keeping your thighs moving in the direction of your belly, lift your feet. And then we're warming the knees up a little bit. So then drop the heels down towards the floor again, just towards the hips rather. And then lift up again. So all we're doing is warming up the knee joints here in this simple kind of simple movement here in one direction, one linear direction. Inhale to lift the feet. Exhale to lower the feet towards the thighs. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. This is when you know if you've got creaky, noisy knees like I have. Inhale to lift the knees. Exhale to lower. One more time, lifting the feet. And exhale to lower. Take the feet to the floor. Keep the right foot down and lift the left leg. And all we're doing here is circling the foot to warm up the ankle joints. Circling your foot in one direction. And then the other way. Swapping over to the other side. Lifting your right foot. Circling the foot. And then the other way. Taking your foot to the floor. Take your heels close in towards your hips if they've moved away. And we're going to do a very short waking up of the deep core muscles, transverse abdominis. So make sure you have got your heels quite close in towards your hips. Point your toes towards the end of your mat and your arms are just down on the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, pull down the very lowest part of your belly, the pit of your belly. Your hip bones roll towards your face and lift your feet off the floor about 1 centimetre, just hovering. Try not to arch your back so you're actually flattening the lower back. And then lower the feet down, relax the belly. If you want to, you can place your hands there to let your body know that's where. So you place the hands in front of your pelvis. Relax the elbows down. Inhale. As you exhale, roll the hip points towards your face, drawing the lower belly down and lifting the feet off the floor. Try not to let the arch of your back exaggerate here. And then lower. So you're not holding your breath. You're still breathing. One more time. Inhale first of all. And as you exhale, roll the hip points towards the face, draw the lower belly down and hover the feet off the floor. Hold it here to breathe. And relax the feet down. Rolling onto the side of your body and come up. So come to sit. I'm just going to check. Hello, Tracy. So coming on to all fours. Then bring your big toes together. Take your knees, we're coming into child's pose, so take your knees as wide as feels good for you today. So depending on how you're feeling in your body, sometimes I take my knees underneath my body and sometimes I take them wider. So you decide, and we're going to take the forehead onto the floor and the elbows onto the floor. So let your elbows relax down. If you have a child's pose where the head doesn't touch the floor yet, you can get your block or a cushion or a blanket or something stable to place your forehead on. So let your body open in the back now. So notice as you breathe in, the rib cage expands. And as you exhale, the rib cage settles back into the center. And if you practice with Ujjayi breath, you're welcome to start practicing with that particular way of breathing. And if you're not sure what that is, or you struggle with your breathing anyway in yoga, then try your best to breathe through your nose the whole time and try not to bring the breath into the top part of your back. So feel that your rib cage expands and your belly expands, the whole of your back expands when you breathe in. And as you exhale, the body softens. Slowly coming up. Now come onto hands and knees again. And place your hands underneath your shoulders. Untuck your toes. Hide your feet behind your knees so you can't see them. Spread the fingers and thumbs apart. And make sure you haven't got your knees all the way up towards your hands. And we're going to tip the pelvis up to the sky. And as we do that, the belly drops and the chest stretches. We're looking forwards. Tailbone rolls the other way. Pressing through the hands to lift the back, lift the belly. Letting the head drop. Inhale the other way. So we're starting the motion from the pelvis each way. Rolling the pelvis the other way, and that sends a ripple effect up the spine. And again, pelvis rolls. Follow that ripple up to the crown. And again, rolling the pelvis under, lifting the navel center. One more time, the other way. Come back to the center, so neutral spine. Come back to another child's pose. Bring your toes together. Maybe the knees come wider again. And stretch your arms out this time. Lifting the elbows off the floor as if you're about to do downward dog. So spreading the fingers and thumbs. Think that you're doing downward dog. So you've got long arms. The armpits are lifting off the floor. Collarbones broaden. And then rise up to hands and knees again. This time we're going to do cat-cow like we just did, but this time strengthening our fingers. So this can feel a bit odd if you haven't done it before, unless you're a climber, then you've probably got really strong fingers. So you're going to TP your hands, putting equal pressure between each finger and thumb. And then again, rolling the pelvis. I find that this is really good for strengthening the wrists and hands. Rolling the back the other way. So taking that same cat-cow motion, inhale, tailbone tips, chest moves forward as you look forward. Exhale, you can even squeeze the thighs together without bringing the knees together, and that helps engage the core a little bit more. Keeping that motion going. Coming back to the center. Taking your palms to the ground. Then from here, cross your shins behind you and come to sit. So from this seated position, my microphone's just come off. From this seated position, stretch your arms up above your head. So you've got your shins crossed. If you find it awkward to sit directly on the floor, you can sit on a block or a cushion or a blanket. Take your palms together and interlace your fingers. Take the palms down towards your chest. Turn the palms up. And feel how that goes into the shoulder blades. Can you squeeze the shoulder blades together? Maybe press the elbows back. And then without, as much as you can, keeping the arms above the head. And again, this will depend on your shoulder flexibility. And feel how here, as you stretch up, you can get in contact with your ribs a lot more as you breathe. So become aware of the whole circumference of your rib cage. Expanding and contracting as you breathe. Then release the fingers, point them up, keep that left arm up and take the right hand down. Stretching over to the right. Keep your left hip pressing down. And you can bend your right elbow if you need to. That actually is better. Then make sure you're not rolling forward through that top shoulder. Keep spinning the chest up to the sky. And then come to the center, reach both arms up. Interlace fingers. And notice if you've done your interlacing the same way as last time, interlace them the awkward way. Take the palms down, draw the shoulder blades together, elbows back. Turn the palms and press the arms up. Draw the lower belly in. Reach the fingertips up. Leave the right arm there and take the left hand over to the other side. Try to let this lower shoulder drop away from the ear as you stretch. Breathe into that side body. Come back to the center, reach both arms up and then palms down the center line. Pause here for a moment. Okay, so from your sitting position, come to kneel. If kneeling is difficult for you because you've got tight knees or ankles, that's why it's good to have blocks, so you can place blocks under your seat. If it's also your ankles, you can roll up the back of your mat. I'm just going to do this quickly. And place your ankles on top of the roll. And that helps take the pressure off. So, from here, take your hands onto your thighs. And first of all, feel how your spine is now sitting directly above the pelvis. So that's the neutral posture we want, the long back. And then what I want you to do from here is start to pull back from the upper part of your abdomen. So you're rounding your back. Let the chin drop towards the chest. And then moving the other way, you're rolling forward on the pelvis. The chest moves forward and then lifts. The shoulder heads move back. Take your gaze up. And then the other way again. So it's like doing cat-cow, exactly the same, except we're kneeling. Warming the spine up a bit more for the morning. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, rolling through the spine. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Come into another child's pose briefly. Stretching the arms forwards. Then bring your knees under your body if they're not, and squeeze the inner thighs together. Draw the lower belly in and start to use your core to lift your upper body off your thighs. Keep lifting the hips now. Lift the hips and come to kneel. Taking your hands to your hips and tuck your toes under. So if you have tight feet, this one is for you. You might find it a bit uncomfortable. You're going to sit back onto your heels. If you're a runner, I find that runners find this really quite tough in the feet. So it's good to open up the fascia of the feet. So we're sitting on the heels, breathing here for as long as you can. If this is too much, come out anytime. We're not staying for long, but see if you can find that stretch in the backs, in the soles of the feet. Okay, and then come out. Come onto hands and knees. Lift your knees off the floor. Walk your hands back towards your feet, and we're going to roll up slowly through the spine. Bent knees. Make sure your knees are bent. Rolling up slowly. When you come to the top, roll your shoulders back, opening the chest. And then we're going to roll down again. Tip the chin down. Keep rolling down. Breathing all the time. See if you can do it on one inhale breath this time as you come up slowly. One inhale. Roll the shoulders back. On one exhale, roll all the way down. Keep rolling down. And when you reach the bottom, stay there. Bend your knees quite a lot here and take your feet wide. Take your hands as wide as your mat. And keep the left hand where it is and place your right hand on top of the left hand so you get a little stretch across the right side. Drop your head. Then take the right hand to the outside of the mat, left hand on top of right, stretching the other side. Come back to the center. Start to roll up through the spine, coming all the way up. Roll the shoulders back. So now we're going to start moving a little bit more strongly now. Hopefully that's helped you to stretch and wake up your body. Come to the top of your mat, starting with your feet hip distance. We're going to start off with some lunge salutations. So Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch. Let's fold down to Uttanasana, take the hands down all the way to the shins or to the floor. Inhale to lengthen the chest away from the thighs. And exhale to fold. Step your left foot back as far as you can, taking the knee to the floor for a lunge. But we're staying here. Inhale, lift the chest, fingertips on the floor. Exhale, take your right hip back and let the front leg straighten, folding over that leg. Inhale to come forward again. Tuck the back toe under, lift the knee and step back to downward dog, your first downward dog. So let's bend the knees quite a lot here. Pressing the palms into the floor. Lifting the inner groins up. Rolling your armpits towards your face. Then walk your feet all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, step your right foot back. Just coming into this slowly. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, straighten your front leg. I'm getting ahead of myself. So hips move back. Inhale, come forward to a lunge again. This time downward dog. Exhale. My floor is very creaky, so you might be able to hear it. Staying here for a few breaths. Then bend your knees a little, look between the hands and walk or step your feet between your hands. When you get there, feet hip distance, inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale to fold. We're going to come up to stand, sweep the arms up, come up with a long back, palms touch, exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, reach up, folding all the way down, exhale. Inhale, long back. Exhale, left foot steps back, knee comes down. This time we're coming all the way up to Anjaneyasana, sweeping the arms up above the head, palms touch. Exhale, take the hands to the floor, folding over the outstretched leg, taking the hips back. Inhale, forward to a lunge, fingertips on the floor. Tuck the back toes, exhale, downward dog. This time, inhale, forward to a plank. Take your knees to the floor. And we're just going to take the chest and chin down, the hips stay up. Chest comes to the floor. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, forward to hands and knees. Tuck your toes, downward dog. Walk, step, jump if you're ready for it to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold, stepping the right foot back behind you, knee down. Inhale, rise up to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to the floor, folding over that outstretched leg. Inhale, forward, fingertips. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, forward to a plank. Bring your knees to the floor. A little trick to get the chest to the floor here is come forward so the shoulders are moving forward from the wrists. Elbows stay close to the body as you lower. Inhale, cobra, chest opens. Exhale, this time downward dog. And from here, bend your knees a little. Look between the hands, walk, step or lightly jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold. Squeeze the inner feet together as you rise all the way up to stand. Palms touch above the head. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Left foot steps back, take the knee down, exhale. Inhale, rise up to Anjaneyasana. Exhale, folding over your straight leg on the right. Inhale, fingertips, chest comes forward. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, forward to a plank. Take your knees to the floor. Chest and chin lowers. Exhale. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Bend your knees a little. Walk, step or jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold, stepping the right foot back. Knee comes down. Inhale, rise up to your lunge. Exhale, fingertips to the floor, straighten that front leg, hips move back. Inhale, come forward to the fingertips. Lift the back knee, downward dog, exhale. Breathing here in downward dog. Drawing your inner thighs up and your lower belly back towards the back. And really try to think about pressing the palms of your hands into the mat and forward and away from you. So it's not down, it's not just down, it's forward as well. And see how that can then lift your hips and lengthen your spine. So from here, bend your knees. Squeeze your inner arms together. Walk, step or jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold. Coming all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do one round of sun salutation A. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale to plank. So come straight into plank. Hold it here for an inhale. And either coming forward into chaturanga or, as we've been doing, chest, chin. Inhale into cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, holding it here. Okay, look between the hands, bend the knees. On your exhale, walk, step or jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bring your feet together here, Uttanasana. Big toes together. Then step your left foot back behind you for warrior two, taking the back heel to the floor, front heel in line with the arch of the back foot. Come up to warrior two on an inhale. So if you're new to yoga, remember knee above ankle and that front leg. The back foot, the toes are turned about 90 degrees towards the side of your mat. Belly turns towards the long side of your mat, and take your gaze towards your front hand. Hold it here a bit longer if you can. Soften your shoulders, soften the jaw. Inhale to straighten your front leg. Exhale to bend again. Turn your front arm so the palm faces up, reverse warrior. Reach up through the right side of your body and let the left hand slide down the back leg. Depending on how it feels in your neck today, you could either look towards the back foot or you could look up towards the top hand. Try to keep lowering that front hip. Inhale to the center, warrior two. Keep inhaling as you straighten your front leg. Bend again, exhale. Come into Parsvakonasana. Even if you can take your hand to the floor normally, keep your elbow on the thigh for a reason. So we're going to stay here. Keep spinning the chest up to the sky. Draw the right hip under. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale here. Inhale, palms touch above the head. Straighten your front leg, turning your toes. And we're coming into warrior two on the left leg now. So bend your left knee. Check that your back foot is 90 degrees. Front knee is over the ankle. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale to bend. Turn the front arm, palm faces up, reverse warrior. Inhale. Inhale back to the center. Straighten your front leg. And then bend again. Elbow to thigh. Reach the right arm over. So what we want to do on this Parsvakonasana today, extended side angle, is try and get as long as possible between that front hip and the armpit. Sometimes when we take the hand to the floor, that goes. Okay, from here, come back up to the center, reach the palms up, turn your toes to the long side of your mat. Pivot your whole body towards the front. Take your hands to the floor, either side of your front foot, and step back to downward dog. Either staying here in downward dog or inhaling forward to a plank. If you'd like to take a full vinyasa, chaturanga, upward dog, please do. Or you can follow me by taking on the knees, chest, chin, down to the ground. Inhale into cobra, legs squeezed together, lifting the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Find your breath. Steady your heart rate by controlling the breath. Okay, bending the knees. Walk, step or jump to the top. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, bring the feet together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up to stand. Reach up, palms touch. Exhale, fold all the way back down to the floor. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen through the chest. Exhale, warrior two again. So we're doing some repetitive postures today to get into it a little bit more rather than rushing through lots of different ones. Keeping it calm and steady. Taking your gaze towards your front hand for warrior two. Notice if your shoulders are hiked up towards your ears, can you soften the neck and the flesh around the shoulder joints? Inhale, straighten your front leg. Bend again for another reverse warrior. Come back to warrior two again. Straighten your front leg. Again, palms back on asana. Drop that front hip. Turn the chest up to the sky. Okay, inhale back to or to the way to the center. We're coming into Trikonasana now. Sometimes I shorten my stride for this one. Front heel is in line with back arch like we've been doing. Except this time the front leg is straight. Keep reaching forward. You want to make sure you've got that length between the hip and the armpit here on the right side. Keep spinning the chest up. And take your hand to rest on your shin and reach the left arm up. And notice if your top hip is jutting backwards. Can you bring it towards the long side of your mat? Come up to the center, bring the palms together, and we're going to switch to the other side. Bend your front knee. Take your gaze towards the front hand. Let that front thigh drop a little bit more. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale to bend again. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Stay here and breathe. Come back to the center, warrior two. Pass back on asana. Bring the right arm over. Drop that left hip down. Come back to the center, Trikonasana. So keep moving that left hip back. Reach forward through that outstretched arm, hand to shin. Turn the belly and chest up to the sky. Come back up to the center, palms touch. Pivot around, face the front. This time step to the top. Feet together, palms together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And again, exhale, step the left foot back for warrior two again. So we're doing one more round, adding on. Inhale, coming up to warrior two. Take your hand, your palm, your face towards your hand. So you're looking at your hand. I'll get there in the end. And just imagine that you've got this warrior power inside of you now. So you're really into it. It's your third round. Dropping into the power and strength. The essence of the peaceful warrior. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend again. Reverse warrior. Reaching up. Come back to the center, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, Trikonasana. Hip moves back, we're reaching forwards. Bring the hand to the shin. If by now you feel warmed up enough and connected enough with your core to bring your hand to the inside of the leg, then you can do. Let's come straight into Parsvakonasana from here. Reach the left arm over. And this time, if you feel strong enough, straighten your right arm and place it inside your thigh. You're not taking the hand to the floor, so you're using a lot more core strength here. So either stay here for a few breaths or take your left hand to your hip and come into Ardha Chandrasana, so it's half moon balance. Right hand to the outside, right side of your mat. Hop the back foot in. Start to straighten your front leg, lifting the left leg up. Keep your gaze towards your foot to keep you grounded, but turn the left hip out. Maybe reach the left arm up. Then with control, we're all going to come to warrior two. So bend your right knee if it's straight. Come back to warrior two with control. Reach the arms up. Turn your toes. Warrior two on the left leg. So repeating the same little sequence on this side. Taking your focus back to that essence of powerful, peaceful warrior. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale to bend again, reverse warrior. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Tip the hips for Trikonasana triangle. Reach forward, get long underneath the right side, the left side of your waist. Coming into Trikonasana from here. Again, if you want to take the arm inside the leg, you can. Press the hand inside onto the inner shin to give you that connection. And then come straight into Bharsvakonasana. Straighten your left arm. Then take your right hand to your right hip. And then you're either staying here, and that's still tough. It's not an easy option. Take your left hand in front of your foot, out to the side a little bit. Straighten your front leg for Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe reach the right arm up if you're steady. But be more in the foundation, so feel like you've got control in the leg. Then with control, everyone come into warrior two. Reaching the arms up, palms touch. Turn towards the front of your mat. This time come to downward dog from here. So step the front foot back to downward dog. Either staying here, if you feel like you need a rest in child's pose, please do, and rejoin us when you're ready. You can stay in downward dog, or if you'd like to take a vinyasa, come forward to a plank. And you've got the option of coming through chaturanga into upward dog, or as I am, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to lift the chest into cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Find that reconnection with your breath. And then come to downward dog if you're not. Feel all four corners of your body on the ground. So you've got left hand, left foot, right foot. So without shifting the balance of your weight too much into the right, lift your left foot off the floor, stretching the leg out behind you. Then bend the knee and bring the knee towards your armpit. Then you're going to step the left foot out onto the outside edge of your mat, coming to side plank. Stretch your right leg out. This is half side plank. So if this is a challenge for you, come back to regular plank, and you can take your knees down if you would like. Perhaps reach the arm up. So your left foot is on the long side of your mat, and your belly and chest is facing the same way. Reach the left arm over. Then come to regular plank with control. Over to the other side. Actually, let's come to downward dog. Come to downward dog. Again, feel all 4 points of your body on the floor. This time lifting the right leg. Bring the knee towards the armpit. And step the foot onto the outside of the mat. Stretch your left leg out. Make sure you've got a left heel down. I sometimes see people lifting their heel off the floor, but you want the whole foot down. And again, if this is too tough for you today, come to downward dog, or you can do regular plank. Bring the right arm over the ear. Bring the right hand to the floor, come to regular plank, and then downward dog. If you would like to take a vinyasa here, please do. I'm going to stay in downward dog. And then from your downward dog, bring your knees to the floor. Lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Coming into cobra. Bring your legs together and bring your hands underneath your elbows and take your forehead onto your mat. So see if you can bring your feet together as much as you can and press your hip bones down into the floor.
And notice how that gives you space in the lower back. Then drag the skin of your hands back as if you could and lift the chest.
Lifting the lower ribs, maybe coming a bit higher. You've still got your lower belly down, you haven't got the hips lifted. Shoulders away from ears, and then lower.
Stretch your arms back for Shalabhasana, locust. Legs are together, forehead down. Press your hip points down into the ground. And extend your legs back, point your toes. If you could make your legs longer, and start to lift the thighs off the floor. Chest, arms, chin. Keep your chin tucked slightly. Maybe interlace the fingers behind the back. Lifting a bit higher, perhaps. Squeeze the thighs together. And then lower all the way down. Press onto hands and knees and come to downward dog. Okay, from here, lift the right leg off the floor. You're lifting up. Bring the right knee behind the wrist, coming into pigeon pose. So if you have tight hips, this is when a block is really, really handy. Place it on this, in this case, under the right hip. And you can keep the toes tucked and stay high. So this might be where you are. If you can go a bit lower, then you can start to walk the hands forward. Main thing is try not to roll onto the right side too much. Be in the center. Some of you might be able to take the elbows to the floor. And then you may be able to go all the way, taking your belly to the floor. So be where you're at, not where you think you should be. Just make sure you haven't got your foot tucked under, your right foot tucked under your left hip. Try to bring the knee in front of, the right knee in front of the right hip, and take the foot out to the side. I know this can be awkward when you're learning it. And then let yourself settle here. Have a gentle flex in that front foot. And if you have your belly all the way down on the shin, bend your elbows, take your hands into prayer, and bring your thumbs behind your head. Come all the way up onto your hands. Tuck the back toes, come to downward dog. Lifting the left leg. Bring your knee towards the wrist. Pigeon on this side. And again, you might need a block or a blanket is a bit more cozy under your hip. Coming straight into it if you know how. So you might be up high, and that's fine. Just stay there and breathe. Try not to let your mind wander. Stay focused on your breath. Maybe coming down to elbows if you're there. But if you're having to struggle to get there, that's not what yoga is about. It's not about struggle. It's about being present to where you are in this moment and allowing yourself to open, allowing your body to slowly open over time with practice, being patient, being humble. Coming down onto your belly if you did on the previous side, and perhaps bending the elbows, taking your prayer hands behind your head. And coming onto your hands, downward dog. Coming onto your knees from here. Come to sit and stretch your legs out. So again, this is really good, this posture, if you sit on a blanket. I'm going to get my blanket and show you. Or you can use a cushion. So I've got a cushion or a blanket, so you could sit on your cushion if you've got one. So what we're aiming for is a nice long spine. What you don't want to be doing is rounding. Most people have too much rounding going on in their posture nowadays because of so much
desk-based work or being on your devices or driving or sitting on the train. So let's think now about lengthening, creating space from the base of the spine to the crown. Drawing the thighs in towards the hip sockets. Toes point up. So you can either stay here, and if you're enjoying this nice kind of upright posture, if you have got the space in your hips, then you can start to fold forwards. And you might need to have bent knees here, so even though my legs are straight, you can do this with bent knees. Taking an inhale to lengthen through the spine, and exhale to fold. Draw the lower belly in, really draw everything in and up into the space inside the pelvis, pelvic floor. Lower belly pulls back, the bandhas connecting. So even engaging your quadriceps here, your thigh muscles, that will help. Inhale to come all the way up. Bend your right knee and bring the foot inside the thigh. Keep the knee out wide. Try to bring that heel up as high as you can towards the groin. And turn your torso in the direction of your knee, your bent knee. Reach the right arm up. Keep lifting up. And take the left hand onto the left leg. But keep turning the chest. Then walk your hand down that outstretched leg and find the outside of the foot. And lengthen here. Lengthen through the right side. If you have plenty of room left in your body, then you could bend the left elbow towards the floor inside the leg. But keep that length, keep that rotation in the spine. Maybe if you've got the space in your body, you can bring the hand to the outside of the foot as well. But again, keep rotating left waist towards right. Inhale up to the center. Stretch out your right leg and bring your left foot inside the right. Take the heel up as high as you can into the groins. Lift up tall and turn your torso in the direction of your left knee. Place the right hand on the right leg and lift the left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, stretching over towards that leg. Taking the right hand around the outside of the foot. Press the foot into the hand and feel that connection. And use that connection to then rotate from the navel center, from the thoracic. If you're able to, taking the elbow inside the leg onto the floor and bringing that left hand around the outside of the foot. Draw the lower belly in. Find your breath. Inhale back to the center. Okay, lovely. Now taking away your blocks or blankets, cushions, etc. and placing them out of the way. So from here you're going to come down onto your back, lying down. Bring your knees in towards your belly and take your arms out wide, as long as you haven't got things in the way. Try to take them out long. And then coming into a twist, take your legs to the left and turn your head towards the right. So you could either start to really let go now and cool down and turn this into a really kind of surrendering twist, or you could still be thinking about your alignment depending on what's going on with your body. If you still want to think about alignment, keep moving your right hip towards the right knee. Left knee moves back towards the left hip until the hips and knees are stacked. Flexing the feet. So those are your two options. You can surrender into the posture, let go, or still put a bit of effort in, engaging the core. Coming back to the center. Rolling onto the back and over to the other side. Keep your knees in close, all the way over. Stretching out the arms.
And choosing the same energy that you chose on the previous side. Softening, surrendering, or a little bit of effort if you still feel that you've got that to give. Tuning into more intelligent alignment, stacking the top hip over the lower hip. Coming back to the center. Bring your knees in towards you, and take your hands around the outsides of the feet for a very short, happy baby pose, bringing the feet above the knees. Maybe rolling side to side if that feels good. And then taking your feet down onto the floor for supine Baddha Konasana. So let your knees roll out to the side, your feet touch. Bring your hands onto the inner groins, inner hips. And relax here for a few breaths. Or if you're ready for Shavasana now, moving into Shavasana. And then let's stretch the legs out, Shavasana. So taking your arms wide, your legs wide. And you can take as long as you want in Shavasana. We're going to do 3 minutes here. Normally in my personal practice, it depends on how much time I've got. If I've got time, I'd like to do a much longer one. So if you've got time and you're in need of a longer Shavasana, when I close the class, you can stay longer. You can switch your screen off and come back to Shavasana. And take this time for yourself to rest. Shavasana is where we integrate our practice. And the nervous system has a chance to settle. Your breath is natural. There's no control of the breath. Face muscles are soft. The eyes are relaxed. The eyeballs drop down. The tongue relaxes. The jaw softens. The neck, shoulders, and all the soft tissue around the upper back, around the shoulder joints, around the shoulder blades. And the belly relaxes with every breath, with every exhale breath. Your whole system settles a little bit more, letting go on every exhale. So you're welcome to stay longer in Shavasana. If you'd like to stop your screen now and come back into Shavasana, please do. Or if you'd like to join me in closing your practice, take your feet to the floor, bending the knees. Bring your knees in towards you. Rolling onto the one side of your body and pressing yourself up gently to sit. To close your practice. Cross your shins and place the backs of your hands on your knees. Closing the eyes. Bringing the palms together. Bowing your head towards your hands. taking these last few moments to be in the space, be in the softer space within yourself that you've created by practicing today. Namaste. Thank you very much for being here. I'd love to know how you're feeling. So once you've made your way off your mat, take it slow. Do leave a comment in below the video and let me know how you found that, what you thought, how you feel. It's always good for me to get feedback. And I'm going to be doing this class every Sunday at 8:30 now. It's usually actually going to be 30 minutes at 8:30. Occasionally I'll be doing longer ones, so I'll let you know if you would like. If you're not on my email list, you can message me and send me your email, and I can be in touch with you by email as well to keep you updated. So thank you so much. Leave a comment, and I will see you next Sunday at 8:30. If you're local to my classes in Brighton or Surrey, then there's a link on the description of this video as well. So I'm starting up morning classes in Brighton, and I still have my ongoing classes in West Byfleet and Bisley, which you're welcome to come to. Or you might be somewhere completely far away from there, and you're welcome to join me every Sunday at 8:30. Thank you. Hi, Laura, Lena. So let me know how you're feeling before you go. If you have a moment, that would be great. Or if you just want to head off, that's okay too. I'll let you go. Thanks for being here, Steve. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you in class. Anyone else? I could see some hearts rising up and some thumbs up. Also, if you want me to do a particular type of practice, let me know as well. You can always email me or put a comment. Stretched. So I want to make this about what you need. The morning practice is a little bit trickier because the body is much more stiff. So you might find that you want something faster or something more sweaty, or you might want something slower, more restorative. So let me know. Hi, Marika. Thank you. Namaste. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you now. Remember to follow my page if you haven't yet, because then you'll get notifications on what I'm doing, and check out my timetable if you're local to me. I'd love to see you in class. So thank you everyone, and have a lovely week.